Hey, what's up, team? Eddie Gray here. We're here to talk about the relationship between Maschine and Logic. At the most basic level, people love Maschine because the sounds are amazing. Most people, they look for sounds, they play in, they draw in MIDI, and then they grab the audio. And so this is a pretty easy workflow. As you can see, of course, it's very limiting. Why? Well, let's say I wanted to isolate something from the kit. All of it is inside here. Let's say I wanted to add another pattern. Well, I'd have to go in here. It can be a little bit cumbersome. And as I said, if I wanted just the kick, for example, right? How do I do that? Well, in order to do that, you'd have to go into the instrument level and then grab the instrument. So this can be time consuming. So we should just be listening to one instrument here. Let's check this out. So that's just the sub, right? And again, how I did that was I went to this tab and then I selected the appropriate instrument. Here we'll get the clap, and then let's see if we can drag this out to audio. All right, so we should be listening just to the clap. All right, so that's pretty cumbersome as a whole. Like, that's not really going to make for a nice workflow, clean workflow, and that's always what I'm after. So then, of course, the natural assumption is, well, let's just do the MIDI thing, right? So let's say we wanted this pattern. If I just drag it into my DAW, this is what you get right here on a sound level. Okay, so check this out. So that's not going to help unless I want to do that and instantiate this 12 more times. That's not a clean workflow. So let's say I'm on the group level here and I drag out the kit. Let's just say I grab it from here. So we drag out the MIDI. Let's see what happens here. So this is dangerous, right? This looks pretty bad. Definitely do not want to deal with that. So let me hit Command Z for that. And so then now we're left with the situation of how do I bring in the entire group? I want to manipulate it. I want to play inside of the DAW. You may find it a little bit easier. So then I'll control click the group itself inside a Maschine. I'll go into group MIDI batch setup and I will then switch over to sounds to MIDI notes. All right. So again, we're back grabbing the MIDI. We drag that in. Let's see what happens. And if you notice, I keep going back to the sequencer and turning off the idea because I don't want both of these ideas to play at the same time. So let's check this out now. Well, this doesn't sound good. Why is this happening? Well, we've got the clap selected. And so I believe if we go to this level, we should hear what we need to hear now. No, that sounds horrible. So you could see that this is not a clean workflow. How do we solve this? Well, let's go to the group level. Let's go into MIDI and let's go into manual and see if we can sort this out. So that sounds pretty true to home. Let's bring up pattern 1 and listen to it. Okay, and without it. So that is resonating. That's working. That's another way of going about it. If you're a programmer, you're somebody that doesn't necessarily like playing your MIDI keyboard, or you're just better off moving things around inside of the piano roll, fantastic workflow. The final workflow that I want to point out is my personal favorite. You're in group in the input tab, I believe that's what that's called. And then you go into go into key mode, drum kit. And this is the best because now I can actually play this stuff in myself. Well, let's say this is something that I wanted to play in myself, then here we go. So that's 3 ways that you can work inside of Logic, utilizing Maschine while not necessarily being caught up in all the technical stuff. It's always about getting back to the music. It's always about an efficient workflow and it's always definitely about clarity. All right, team, this is Eddie Gray signing off. If you're interested in what we're up to, go ahead and check out hfmusicacademy.com. We're actually giving away a free course on compression. So if you like the work we do, you like the clarity that it brings to you, go ahead and hit us up, support at hfmusicacademy.com. I will see you again. Take good care.